So if you guys have been waiting for more news on Basic Fun's upcoming WrestleFest home arcade, this is definitely the video for you, because today we'll go over some of the leaked photos that recently released of the upcoming Basic Fun Ultraline cab, including the games list, that also showed a countercade. Well, following that up, I found the first ever retail posting for Basic Fun's WrestleFest, and I don't mean the cheap version you would find in the checkout counter at Walgreens. And if you want to learn more about it, stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Michael B. And in today's video, we're talking about Basic Fun Arcade Classics WrestleFest. We got some new images with some new details, including the games list. So we'll go over the other included games that are on the cabinet. And on top of that, we also saw a peek at a countercade, and I have exclusively found the very first listing for Basic Fun WrestleFest, so we can go over that, where it's available, how much it's going to cost, and what's included. Anyways, guys, before we get into that, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate the support. If this is your first time to the channel, you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notification, all that YouTube jazz. So if you guys tuned into Super Game Room Dudes last night, you would have saw that leaked images of the upcoming Basic Fun WrestleFest Ultra Cab have come out. There is also some images of the WrestleFest Supreme Cabinet, as well as our very first look at the WrestleFest Countercade coming from Basic Fun. So guys, like we showed on Super Game Room Dudes last night, we do have now official product pictures from Basic Fun of their upcoming WrestleFest Ultraline cabinet, and of course, some sneak peeks in these very same pictures of the Supreme WrestleFest, which is the one I'm hoping I can get my hands on, as well as a countercade version of WrestleFest that's incredibly interesting. A lot of keen-eyed people saw that last night, sparked a lot of interest. So, of course, you look at this product picture, very similar to what Arcade 1-Up did, and a good representation to show off the brand and to introduce the product. We did, of course, also get a picture of the control panel on the Ultraline featuring red and blue controllers and buttons. Obviously, these are bat-top controllers, 3 buttons apiece. One of the things to take away, the control deck is very arcade accurate. That's a good thing in terms of the way it looks, and the little cards. Actually, the cards are supposed to be on the bezel, but what they did here was they put them on the control deck. I'm sure they'll be on the bezel on the XL cab, but you can see underneath the actual bezel there, you will see on and off buttons, which are going to look eerily similar to what we saw from Arcade 1-Up. So this product is essentially going to be what it looks like to be a carbon copy from Basic Fun from what Arcade 1-Up had previously done. So it will look right in place in your collection next to other Arcade 1-Up 3/4 scale home arcades. Now, of course, this is the image most people are probably going to be super interested in. This is the product page image that showcases the games included. As you can see, no duh, it includes WrestleFest. We also assumed it was going to include the other Technos WWF game, Superstars, but we knew Technos had a long list of other wrestling games. Surely there was a lot to choose from here, but we do have the rest of the game selection, and it's kind of interesting, and not necessarily in a good way. So the first game showcased here is in fact Super Dodgeball Arcade. I'm sure most of us who owned NESs are very familiar with Super Dodgeball. It's a great game, super fun, has that traditional Technos character look like River City Ransom, Double Dragon. You know, we're pretty familiar with their art style. Anyways, this is an excellent addition, adds a lot of good value to the arcade. I think people will be very interested and excited to have an arcade version of Super Dodgeball they can play at home. So good addition, Basic Fun. Now, next up is the Big Pro Wrestling, and this one's kind of confusing to me because, again, like I mentioned, Technos has a long history with arcade wrestling games. There's lots of options they could have chose, Mat Mania, several others, but they went with the Big Pro Wrestling, which is a relatively unknown game from them. Now, personally, I don't know if I love this choice. Of course, it's a horizontal wrestling game instead of a vertical, so it's going to be horizontal on that 17-inch vertical screen. I don't know how it plays, but we'll see. A very odd choice to include when there was definitely better choices they could have put on this cabinet. Now, next up is Acrobatic Dogfight. This is a game I'm not familiar with in any capacity. It's a arcade-style shoot-'em-up. It goes back and forth from a top-down to horizontal shoot-'em-up stages. I don't know, it might be fun, but looks kind of stupid to me. Anyways, again, a very interesting choice to even be included on this cabinet with all the great games Technos have to include. They could have put on this cabinet. Just a very, very weird choice. Well, guys, that's the included games. For some people, it might make a big difference. For me, I don't really give a shit about the games. Like, for me, my main concern is whether or not the main name game is properly represented, and that seems to be the case here. WrestleFest looks to have the right button combination, looks pretty good, so I'm happy with that. I do think including Superstars was a very smart choice. It's essentially a sister game to WrestleFest. Those are the two games I care about. The rest of them I'll probably never play, but for people that want more bang for their buck on their arcade, that's what you have to look forward to. Now, last but not least, we actually have a picture of the arcade bezel, and this one's a little bit strange, obviously, because of the 17-inch screen and the design of the cabinet. They couldn't make the bezel arcade accurate, and they actually only have 9 characters on the bezel, where with the real arcade, and I'm assuming with the Supreme, you're going to see all 12 wrestlers right there on the bezel. So I was having trouble understanding the bezel and trying to figure it out. So I decided to do something and do a little bit of research into what the original bezel looked like. So then I went online, and that's when I discovered something very interesting. So I Googled WrestleFest Arcade to try to get a look at an original WrestleFest Arcade, at least a very good picture, so I could compare the bezel to the actual new Basic Fun Ultra bezel. When I came across this ad right here, this picture, Costco Arcade Classics WWE WrestleFest Countercade machine. So I said, oh my God, is there a posting already up for this? Of course, I went into it, and sure enough, we have our very first official retailer listing for Basic Fun. Now, I just want to dip back here really quickly. So last night, a lot of people were focused, obviously, on the Supreme Cab over to the side. We had our Ultra, which was the main point of the pictures that came out. But you will notice over here on this side, there was the tiniest glimpse at a WrestleFest Countercade from Basic Fun. Well, guess what the listing is for? So that's right, we have our official first listing for the Basic Fun WWE WrestleFest Countercade. So we get a couple things from this. Obviously, we get a look at the Countercade itself. I will just pop this into a new tab so you guys can get a better look at it. There's the cabinet itself. Looks pretty good when you see the full thing. Obviously, they switched a couple things up. This has a ball top instead of a bat top. They do a double with the buttons, a red and then 2 blues. We get a look at the side artwork, and this looks like a pretty good looking Countercade. Also looks like it might just have a light up marquee, which, fingers crossed, I really like those on the Countercades. So anyways, back to the original posting. Here we go. Arcade Classic WWE WrestleFest Countercade arcade machine coming in at $189.99 British pounds, which roughly works out to $250 US. Here's your features. 4 legendary games, so 4 instead of 5, as we saw with the Ultra cabinet, an 8-inch LCD display, retro graphics and immersive sound, classic joysticks and buttons. Doesn't mention anything about a light up marquee, but we'll see. Anyways, it says out of stock, buy now, not available, but let's go down and take a look at the product details. Step into the ring with Arcade Classics Counter Series WWE arcade game. So we know that the countercades with Basic Fun are now going to be called the Counter Series, an authentic throwback with 4 legendary games in one compact cabinet. Go head-to-head in WrestleFest, Superstars, The Big Pro Wrestling, and Super Dodgeball. So for fans of acrobatic dogfight, if you're out there, it will not be on the countercade. All faithfully reproduced to play just like you remember from the arcade. From body slams to dodgeball chaos, every moment explodes with retro energy thanks to pixel-perfect graphics, iconic soundtracks, and fast-paced action. The oversized 8-inch, so it's going to be an 8-inch screen on their counter, I forget the name here, the Counter Series, liquid crystal screen, responsive arcade joysticks, and action-ready buttons bring the real arcade experience to your countertop, no coins required. Comes complete with an AC adapter, so no battery, so you're ready to plug in and play. The ultimate throwback gift for collectors, retro gamers, and WWE superfans. So let's go over some of the details. 8-inch liquid crystal screen width, vibrant visuals, oversized display, classic joystick and buttons, 4 games in 1, coinless operation, there it is, Arcade 1-Up's own term. Plug and play with AC adapter included. Dimensions, height 40.6 times width 24.8 times depth 30.5 centimeters. Weight 3.9 kilograms. So yeah, guys, we've got our first official posting for people like, are these real? Well, now we have a retail posting, at least for the countercade. So guys, that's all I have to share with you today. A look back at the information we got on Basic Fun yesterday, and of course, this awesome find of the Amazon.co.uk. Believe it or not, you UK fans are at least going to be getting the WrestleFest countercade, hopefully more, thanks to Costco over there. So that's some good news. We now know a little bit better with what the pricing's going to be. Going by the British price, it looks like you guys are going to be paying $250 for the countercades. We had assumed earlier they were going to be around $199, so a little bit more expensive. We know the games list. We've got a really good look at what the countercade looks like. So pretty super interesting. I think the biggest takeaway from all of this, for all the people saying, where's the news? When is it coming out? At least this shows some forward progression for Basic Fun's line of cabs competing directly against Arcade 1-Up. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this news from Basic Fun? Are you excited for the upcoming Ultra Series cabs? Do you like the look? Do you like the games included on the cabinet? And of course, what do you think of the countercade? If you're a countercade person, is this something you would possibly pick up? And are you excited about the price, the games list? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time.